Happy Friday to you, CFM. Let's begin our squat and accessory and cash out workout with 10 calories of your choice road bike or ski. We're gonna get through this sequence 3 times today, and then I want you to do 5 reps of a slow and low squat. So take your time getting all the way down, get those feet flat, rock around a little bit, get your elbows in between your knees, stretch out, pry the hips open just a little bit, and then back up. Do 5 reps of that, nice and slow, just loosening up the hips as well as the ankle and the foot. Then we're gonna do our kettlebell windmill or light windmill. So anywhere in the lightweight range, but the windmill motion is going to be a off-axis hip flexion movement, right? So I have this weight in the overhead position, I'm stabilizing my arm. I like to look up at my thumb just to keep my balance, right? Both feet are pointed away from the hand that is holding the object. Slight bend in the knees. I'm trying to keep equal weight distribution on both feet, and I'm kicking the hips out. So I'm kind of initiating by punching my butt back and then sliding the back of my hand down the inside of my leg, feeling that stretch in that front hamstring and the front glute, as well as the groin, down and up 5 times on each side. If you don't touch the ground, that is okay. Just go down while you can feel the motion of the hips. What we don't want to do is bend the spine, right? And a good metric for this is feeling the gap between your rib cage and your hip bones, right? And if that gap changes, right, then I know that I am bending my spine. If the gap remains the same, then I know it is my hips that are moving, or the femur going into the pelvis, right? That is what we would like to see in that movement, right? Next one is a bent knee hip abduction raise with a slow eccentric. I kind of added that part in. The eccentric is really the restorative part of this movement. So we're not doing this so much to build strength as we are to loosen and lengthen the tissue in the groin to recover some of that, right? So I'll have my legs on the bench, or my one leg on the top of the bench, the other leg beneath it, and my elbow is out. I want to be perpendicular to the bench, right? So I want to make sure that I'm not kind of crunched in like this, so I'm at an angle to it, right? But perpendicular to the bench. And then I'm going to use a combination of my bottom leg and my hips and my groin to pull myself up to where my hip is above my knee, and then I can use the bottom leg either off the ground completely or sliding on the ground to slowly lower and open my hip, right? And where you should feel it is a stretch, kind of like a split stretch. You should feel that in the middle. So watch out again for pushing your hips backward and kind of crunching into this movement. You want to keep your hips almost like you're standing tall, but with the knee bent, right? So I'm using my leg to push up and then slowly sliding it out from underneath, right? And you'll feel that as like a slow opening of the hips, like that, under the tension of gravity as your body pulls you back towards the earth, right? It's a really good hip exercise, especially for anybody who has like tight hips, or if they have pain in the hips from either squatting or running or lunging or other exercises like that, okay? Burpee jumps is the last one. Okay, so now we're just practicing the motion of getting my feet back in line with my hands. So I'll start with a wide-ish stance, plant my hands flat on the ground. Make sure, try hard not to tent your hands like this, because this is really hard on the ligaments and the tendons on the underside of your hand. But try to plant those hands flat, kick the legs out to the plank position, and then pop your hips up and pull your feet back so they are in line with your hands. If you need to elevate your hands for mobility, that is fine, but do your best to stretch yourself down into this position at the beginning, and then see if you can return to that position as you jump back to it. All right, that's our warm-up. We're gonna move from the warm-up to our back squats. The back squats should be moving towards a heavy set of 5 today. The percentages I would like to maintain close to the same weight all the way through the 5x5 for this sequence today. I have a spread of about 10% listed in SugarWOD, and I would like for you to find a specific weight and just perform multiple sets of that weight, whether that is 82.5% or 87.5% or 90%. Try to find a comfortable range I'm sorry, not comfortable. It's gonna be uncomfortable, right, for a set of 5 at 90%, no doubt about that, but find a range which is achievable, but still gets a lot of work done in that 5x5, okay? When you're done with that, we have a sequence of some core and accessory work and then a short 6-minute cash out to finish. So before we do the cash out, we're gonna put a 12-minute clock or 12-minute countdown on the clock. You're gonna have 12 minutes to get through 3 rounds of dead bugs, some single leg RDLs, and wall angels. So none of this is high intensity. It is all meant to be focused detail work that helps to build strength in the core, as well as attack some of our mobility issues with the wall angel, right? So dead bug, I'm laying on the ground on my back. I'm trying to push all of my spine to the floor, right? And then the back of my head should stay on the ground. I'm focusing on the muscles beneath my belly button, right? So I'm pulling my belly button to the floor, and then you can either do the bent knee version where I am tapping a foot to the ground and raising the opposite hand overhead, but I'm always coming back to this home position. The more challenging version is with the legs straight, and again, always coming back to this home position with the feet up and the hands up, and I'll reach either same side hand and foot or opposite side hand and foot out, and then back to the middle, okay? Next, we're gonna do wall angels. So I go to the wall, same concept with my spine. I'm trying to paint my spine to the wall now with my knees bent, elbows to the wall, reaching straight up overhead, extending my arms so that my arms finish with my elbows straight, and I'm still squeezing my shoulders and my wrists towards the wall. And then the last one, single leg RDL, just means the Romanian part of the deadlift just means that I'm not bending my knee very much when I do this. You can either do it with 2 hands, 1 hand. I prefer reaching across the body rather than using the same side hand and foot if you do 1 hand. But either way, maintaining that posture, kicking the back leg back and twisting into this movement. Ooh, I lost my balance, right? Twisting into the movement so that my hips stay relatively flat and square as I'm going down, and then squeezing and locking out the hip at the top. Pay attention to your spine on this one. It is really easy to let the back leg be loose and kind of just reach for the ground and bend my back because the weight is lighter. You will not feel that immediately, but it does not accomplish the drill of hip flexion with a braced spine that we're looking for on those single leg RDLs, okay? After we get done with that, or wherever you're at 12 minutes, our 6-minute EMOM is gonna start. This is a challenging little EMOM. We're gonna do lying leg raises, 10 reps, and this is all within the same minute. Lying leg raise, 1, 2, getting up to 10. Then I'm gonna flip over and I'm gonna do 10 fast grasshoppers. So that's 10 touches on each side. So that's 1, 2, 3, about that pace. Try to keep both feet from touching the ground at the same time. And then I'll finish with burpees. 4 burpees, 1, 2, 3, 4. And that is my sequence, and I gotta get 6 rounds of that done, right? So 1 round per minute. You should just get a little bit of rest and then right back to your next set of lying leg raises. So your heart rate will be high when you finish that if we do it right. All right, have a great one, and I will see you guys on Saturday.